current Toyota Prius was a bit of a surprise when it came out, not because it did anything dramatically different to what Priuses have done, well, for the past 20 years. It's that half-electric, hybrid, potentially fuel-saving, economically minded, ecologically minded, ideal for those who like quinoa and kale in their salad. Maybe I shouldn't be that unkind, but yeah, you know the Prius, you know what it does. But what the current version did that we weren't expecting it to do was it was really, really good, and we really, really liked it. And we haven't really liked Priuses very much in the past because they've always been a bit compromised. They've always been really, really good around town. That's where they always manage to squeeze out the economy from that hybrid drive system, but up here on the open road they were always a bit disappointing because suddenly the economy would drop and the small fuel tank would restrict your range, and it all just became a bit irritating and a bit pain in the arse-ish, to be honest. So we liked the new Prius, the current Prius, because suddenly it gave us that economy, that long-range driving ability without any major compromise. It's a very pleasant car to drive, not exciting perhaps, but you could appreciate the technology, and it was genuinely usable and genuinely beneficial. Now, this is the plug-in Prius, the Prius PHV, and, well, it's a bit of an unusual one because Toyota, in a lot of its advertising, makes a big song and dance about the rest of its hybrid range being electric cars that you don't have to plug in. This one you do, because if you fully charge its battery stack from the mains or from a charging point, it'll take you for a potential 50 kilometres without bothering to awaken the 1.8 litre petrol engine. And it genuinely will do that kind of range. Off a 3/4 full battery, we managed to get the guts of 36 kilometres out of this car on just the batteries. So it's pretty impressive in that respect. What's even more impressive is that when you forget to charge up the batteries, or if you just can't be bothered, or if someone's forgotten to give you a 3-pin charging cable, it still works really well. Because I've been driving this car around for the entire week without the benefit of being able to charge up the batteries as often as I'd like, or in fact at all, and it's still getting the same in and around 60 to 65 miles per gallon that the standard Prius gets, which, considering the difference in weight and the difference in the way the system works, that's actually pretty impressive. In fact, it's the best economy I've ever gotten out of a plug-in hybrid car of any description. So in that sense, if in nothing else, major kudos are due to this Prius plug-in. Now, obviously, you have to take the official figures with a colossal pinch of salt, because Toyota says this car will do 282 miles per gallon, which it just never will. But 60 is pretty decent, considering the way I've been driving it, considering the lack of proper charging for the batteries. I think if I'd had the appropriate cable, I probably would have gotten a lot better. I might have even got it up to, say, maybe around 70, 80, maybe even 90 miles per gallon, because for most of the week, most of my mileage is in and around town, doing the school runs, doing the shopping, etc., etc. So it's a very technically impressive car. What's equally impressive about it, though, is just the pleasant way in which it drives. Like the standard Prius, it rides on Toyota's new generation architecture platform, which is also under the CHR, and it'll be under the new Auris, and it'll be under the new Avensis, and so on and so on. But it's just a very comforting in a way kind of car. It rides very pleasantly. The steering is actually surprisingly good. It's not the last word in feel and feedback. It's no Lotus, but actually it's nicely weighted. Turns the car in accurately and cleanly. It's not a fantastically exciting car to drive in the conventional fashion, but it's very enjoyable, very pleasant, very easygoing. When you're driving around town, you don't necessarily want super sharp steering and a rock hard sporty ride quality. What you want is comfort and a little bit of agility and some decent refinement. Now, refinement is a bit of an issue when you get up here on the open road. You can probably hear it in the background right now. There's quite a lot of road noise. Wind noise is not too bad. Powertrain refinement, the combination of that 1.8 litre petrol engine and the batteries and the electric motor, is exceptionally good, even with the dreaded CVT gearbox. This is not a car that intrudes upon your peace with its engine, with its batteries, with any of the way that it actually drives. It just needs to work on the tyre noise a bit, I think. Now, the price is definitely an issue. At $37,000 minimum, this is $4,000 more than the most expensive standard Prius and $7,000 more than the basic Prius. And I do think it's a fair old chunk of money to ask. Now, it's less than you'll be asked by a lot of other manufacturers for their plug-in hybrids, which is, I think, to Toyota's credit. Nonetheless, I'm not sure if you can really justify the extra $4,000. Maybe if you are plugging it in every day religiously, getting the maximum use out of those batteries that you can, using up that potential 50-kilometer range on the batteries all the time, maybe then you might just make the fuel savings that will make this car work in a financial sense. I think for the most of us, realistically, the standard Prius, which is still a really impressive car, is probably the better purchase. But I think this is a bit of a landmark, certainly for me, because it's the best and most effective plug-in hybrid I've yet driven.